99 bottles of beer on the wall, 99 bottles of beer. You get one down, you hit someone with it, and then you got what you got is Brazil's version of the Night of Broken Glass. As a matter of fact, it should be called the Week of Broken Glass because, believe it or not, my friends, it lasted for an entire week. Only one night? That's nothing. We had a whole week of broken glass. But before we get right onto the theme of the video, I have to remind you that I'm currently offering walking tours through the city of Rio, and all of them are described on my website, which the link will be in the description box below, as well as in the first fixed comment. So all you have to do is click there, contact me on WhatsApp, and let's get to know the city of Rio in person, folks. With me, yours truly, of course, your tour guide, Amanda Enderman. So now, without further ado, let's hop onto the theme of the video. Emperor Dom Pedro I, on March 11th, 1831, was coming back to Rio after having traveled for 2 months through then province, now state, of Minas Gerais. He was there guzzling down all of that delicious food from Minas. And I always say, if you want good, wholesome food in Brazil, go to Minas. No question about it. But it comes a point, you know, that we have to come back to our homes. Unless, of course, you happen to live in Minas. Then you have all the good luck in this world. Anyways, he was coming back, and a few regular people decided to decorate their homes in order to welcome the emperor.
What's wrong with that? The emperor is coming back. Decorate your home to welcome it.
But the thing is that the initiative of decorating their homes was only by people who were supporting the Portuguese party. Remember from the Portuguese and the Brazilian parties that I spoke about in the video about the first constitution? And the people who were in favor of the Brazilian party thought that this was an outrage because, you see, the Portuguese party wanted to increase the powers of the emperor, Dom Pedro I, and turn them into absolute power, whereas the Brazilian party wanted to install parliament in order to diminish the powers of the emperor. And there were even rumors at the time that the emperor sought to throw away the constitution, yes, the one that he himself wrote in 1824, and proclaim himself the absolute sovereign of a kingdom comprised by the reuniting of Brazil and Portugal. So in March 11th, a frenzy of people hitting each other with bottles ensued. And mind you, this commotion only ended when policemen, with the aid of justices of peace, stopped the confusion in March 17th of that year. So it was 6 whole days of... So, of course, I have a few slides for you, but not as much as in other videos because I've already told you all of it. But here we go. Firstly, I'm bringing you this piece of news directly from a newspaper of the time, which was called Aurora. And keeping in mind the English speakers who might be watching this video, I am going to roughly translate it for you guys. So here we go. It's dated Rio de Janeiro, March 14th. And it says, in these last few days, ever since last Friday, Rio de Janeiro has been disturbed with quite frightening scenes in which the national dignity has been injured, with the pretext of celebrating the happy arrival of His Majesty the Emperor, here written in Portuguese with the initials SMI, because in Portuguese it is Sua Majestade Imperial, so His Imperial Majesty. Several men, almost all of which were tradesmen and who lived in the city, in the Ourives para o Mar Street, which, by the way, is the current Miguel Couto Street in the downtown area. And speaking of which, Remember when I told you about the walking tours that I'm offering in Rio? Precisely one of them talks about the names of some of the streets in the downtown area of Rio. Why was it called that before? What is it called now? Why did it change? And all of that wonderful stuff. So if you're interested in that, here is a tour I'd recommend for you. But coming back to the news itself, they offered a hostile attitude which couldn't have other results which were not said. In the night of the 11th of this month, that year it fell on a Friday, groups of 6, 11, and 12, armed with sticks, roamed the streets, specifically in the block of the Ourives, exclusively downward to the sea, I imagine, were decorated with splendor and provoked the Brazilians against the people who brought the decorations. And they began since then. The enthusiasm and frenzy of these people, agitated no doubt by an invisible hand. I wonder what invisible hand they were referring to. Oh, the mystery. And many serving simply and perhaps to think for the execution of detestable plans grew in the said night. So you can see what a commotion it actually was. And so, in this next slide here is the street in which it happened. But this is the street nowadays, which is called Miguel Couto Street in the downtown area of Rio. And this over here is the same street, only when it actually happened and depicting the commotion itself. So you can have an idea how big of a commotion it was. And it wasn't only bottles, as you can see by the news that I brought. It was bottles, it was sticks, it was stones, it was everything that you can possibly imagine that you can use to hurt other people. Well, you can imagine that along with the episode of the Constitution and Leopoldine's death, and also the way that he unfortunately treated her, this further ruined his reputation with the Brazilian people, which finally led to him having to leave Brazil altogether. But this is theme for future videos. For now, if you liked the video, please click that like button. Sorry, tongue twister. Subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, share this video with as many people as you possibly can so that each time more people may know of the wonders of the wonderful city. And as usual in this channel, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!